Good afternoon and welcome to ATN Society Watch. This is a program where we spotlight societal issues, give them a collective attention, and work towards solutions that make society better for everyone. Today on the headlines, insecurity. Bandits kill several, abduct women, children in Sokoto. Accidental discharge. Soldiers shoot MKST secondary school student. Diabolism. Police nabs native doctor with 500 padlocks. And crackdown, NDLEA arrests 600%, seize 621 kilograms of drugs in Bayelsa. We're open for sponsorship of this program. Jingles and advert placements, news and events coverage, personality, society, and political interviews, product service promotions, and commercials. Watch us live on www.atlanticnetwork.tv, Avo TV channel 205, Limex TV platform, Ifastec platform, Apple TV, Niger TV, Iroko TV. Connect with us on ATN socials. Subscribe, like, and share. Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network. Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1. And on X at Atlantic TV Net. We're going on a short break, and when we return, I will introduce our guest, and we will dive right onto the stories. Stay with us. Welcome back to the show, and thanks for staying with us. Joining me on the show today is Mr. Jonah Ateng, a social activist and a public affairs analyst. Mr. Jonah, you're welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Elfina.
It's so nice to have you.
And you too.
I hope we have a beautiful show like we did the last time.
Yeah.
All right. Bandits have launched a deadly attack on the Dabagin Yari community in one local government area of Sokoto State, killing several residents and injuring many others. The assault, which occurred late Wednesday night, also saw a large number of people, including women and children, abducted. Security analyst Bakastin disclosed the incident in a post on X, describing the community as being left in deep fear and mourning following the violence. Bakasin condemned attempts to justify the killings on religious grounds, stressing that such acts contradict Islamic teachings. As of now, authorities are yet to officially confirm details of the attack. I want us to talk about the issue of insecurity. You know, I don't do this all the time, but then let's do it today. Is it that I'm quite concerned? We have been recording issues of insecurity. This is not the first, it's not the second. It's been happening. Is it that this menace has come to stay and there is nothing the federal government can do about it? Now, when it comes to the issue of insecurity, the fact that it has come, it has stayed, and it continues to happen, is it that the government cannot fight insecurity? Is it that they do not have what it takes to fight insecurity, or they are not just willing to fight? I mean, when we look at how swift and how very fast the federal government is when it comes to detecting and combating coup plots in Nigeria, they are very fast. And then you look at the issue of insecurity, you see how lackadaisical, and I mean, what do you make of this report, Mr. Jonah?
All right, Ofina, this will be attributed to a lot of factors. But to start with today, I think I will be talking on the negligence in the part of the military officers. Okay. I think constitutionally, Nigeria has made it explicit, expressing on the duties and the functions of these military officers. And of course, to me, they are not living up to expectation. Now, when a constitution has made a provision that certain individuals must do this, I think such individuals must live and uphold the fact that he has a responsibility to do a particular thing. I'm
sorry to cut you, okay. But then, are you trying to say that? Are you trying to put the blame on the security personnel, the military? Are you trying to say they are not doing their job as they are supposed to? Because if that is the point you want to look at this whole insecurity thing in this country from, then I think you are not on it exactly as it's supposed to be. Let's make reference to the case in Kebbi State.
Okay.
The one in Kebbi State, where immediately the menace started, someone said the military that were deployed there were called to withdraw. Okay. Were called to ceasefire, and up till today we've been asking who called them to ceasefire and withdraw. So the military that were already there, that was supposed to fight, were called from the office, and then they left, and then those bandits went there and carried out their
Often exactly what I am trying to explain.
So is it the military or the people at the top? Are the military allowed to do their jobs? Remember, we also had a case where a military personnel came out to say they do not have enough ammunition. They don't have the good weapons to fight the band. And he was, I think he was arrested or something. I've been sentenced to death. Someone coming to complain that we don't have what it takes. We need more ammunition. And then he was being punished for it.
Look at it this way. Now you have a duty to perform, and peradventure something come up, maybe somebody or anyhow something come up and has stopped you from performing such a duty, you should be able to come out to complain. And if you have a line of complaint, meaning that you have to report to your superior first.
What if it was the people at the top, still the superiors that called them to seize?
He should be able to come up to tell us the superior has asked him to do
Are
that.
they allowed
but
to
there
do so?
are no records of the superiors asking him to obey, to withdraw from anything. What I'm trying to say in essence is that the military, maybe ranging from the superior officers to the lowest ranking officers, are negligent in their duties, and probably I'm attributing this to maybe the duties of the government in supporting the military to carry out their duties. How is this possible? Look at when the government work hands in hands with the people, that is the masses to say, with the military and every other agencies, I think there should be a better result. What I'm saying in essence is that the military has a constitutional responsibility to defend the territorial boundaries of the country, Nigeria, which is a sovereign nation. Now, these banditries and other insecurities are happening. And yet the people we know has the constitutional responsibility of defending us, defending the communities, are nowhere to be found.
Is it that they are nowhere to be found, or they are not allowed to do their jobs? You know that even this military, even the people at the top, they take orders. They have where they take orders from the other people at the top. They can't just act on their own. Like you said, they didn't come out to, you can't even come out to just blast and say we don't have this and we don't. These people are restricted. Their roles, their duties, their responsibilities are restricted. And that is why we have all of this happening. Can the Nigerian military fight the bandits? The answer is yes.
Yes, they
Will
can.
they fight? No. Why?
They
haven't been given
will they fight? Yes, they will.
I suppose.
Yes, I suppose. And there are weapons. I would disagree if the Nigerian military is saying they don't have weapons. There are. What we are saying in essence is that if there is any trace of the superior officers in any way not releasing these weapons as at when due or as at when required, for them to be able to engage these bandits, there should be a report to that effect. And for me, I will not say in totality that maybe the government, the superior officers are not in any way trying to play politics and all of that. There is politics, that we know. But these officers should be able to defend their society, whether they have these weapons, so-called light weapons. They should be able to come up also to tell the society or the people that these superior officers are directly or indirectly interfering in their lines of duties.
I gave you an instance of an officer who came on social media to say that they didn't have enough weapons, ammunitions to fight, and he was punished. Do you think that if these military personnel come out to say the guys at the top are not allowed, did this, or do you think they will not be punished?
That is where the government needs to come in. Earlier I have said that the government needs to work with the military. If the superior officers are now intimidating, so to say, the junior officers, the government, the federal government in particular, should be able to interfere, should be able to call the superior officers to order.
But do you not think that the order, in a way, may actually even be coming from the government?
You see, you can't say something where you cannot lay your hands, or let's say prove.
No, I'm not saying that.
Yes. I'm not thinking.
I'm not thinking. So I just asked if
the order is coming
not.
from the government.
Okay.
Now, if the federal government, so to say, the president, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces is aware that is his own duty to defend and also to fight these bandits. And something along the line is coming up. For me, I don't think there's any sense in saying, or gain in saying that the president is playing a pranks and all of that. So I would say that the president needs to interfere in this issue where the superior officers trying to maybe threaten or in other way punish the junior officers when they go into the field and maybe discover one or two or maybe need anything and complain as such, and the superior officers will now come up to say, okay, well, you'll be punished and all of that. Such a thing should be brought to I think to the social media. Let other people see it. Let people from other parts of the world give their takes on that. And for me, I think if the people are aware of this, I think it will not stand.
All right. But then, before we go to the next report, I made a statement.
Okay.
Have you not wondered how swift, I said this before,
okay,
I'm saying it again, how swift the federal government is in detecting and combating coup plots in this country. Before we even get to know, intelligence reports has already covered it, you know, and they combat it promptly. Why can't they also put in the same energy in combating insecurity in Nigeria?
All right, they can. Actually, they can, but there is politics everywhere. Of course, in the case of Nigeria as it were, Nigeria actually needs to improve in their intelligence. They need to improve in their intelligence, and for me, as it were, Nigerian government can do everything within their power to make sure that this can be combated. But since politics to some extent is involved, I think they are negligent or they are reluctant in doing these things that they are supposed to do. Now, Nigerian intelligence architecture, for instance, is wide, so to speak. It's very, very wide. I think from the northern region to the south, southwest, southeast, and all over Nigeria is wide. And they can actually do something. But maybe because of the politics, like I've said earlier, that is involved, they are not actually doing what they are supposed to do. And that is affecting the masses. It's affecting the masses. And I would suggest that they should actually improve in their technology.
All right. Thank you so much. But meanwhile, a student was reportedly shot by personnel of the Nigerian Army in Sai community, Katsina local government area of Benue State. The victim, identified as Sanav Gabriel, was said to have been hit by a bullet on Wednesday evening as soldiers moved through the area. The troops were reportedly returning from Shejatu, where they had escorted the body of a man allegedly killed by suspected herdsmen. Residents say the student was struck during the military movement and was rushed to a local clinic where he is currently receiving treatment. Community members are calling for a thorough investigation and accountability. Efforts to get confirmation from the Benue State Police Command spokesperson Udeme Edet were unsuccessful as of the press time. We see an innocent student being shot by the military, okay, and then we have it in the report that earlier before now, the family of this victim is actually part of the families that were displaced as a result of the insecurity in the state, and right there at their hiding spot, this has happened to the innocent secondary school son. What do you make of this report?
Well, it is sad, so to say, that there are certain things or stories that is not good to be told about the Nigerian military. You see, they are professionals, and these professionals must activate their knowledge of professionalism when it comes to discharge of their duties. But unfortunately, you discover that some of these military men, some of them drink, some of them smoke, and some of them, I don't know if they actually went through the training per se. And it becomes difficult for you to even identify who is a well-trained military personnel with someone that is not a trained military personnel. That is to say that in line of their duties, sometimes you discover they dress tattered, they behave abnormal, and all of this. Me, I'm looking at these persons, to me, is scary. It's scary.
How do they behave abnormal? Sorry to cut.
All right, abnormal in a sense that some of them, in terms of communication, you already discovered that some of them, you see them smelling cigarettes. You see them, some of them are dealt with through the influence of alcohol and all of that. So at this time, they behave abnormal. Okay. Because of the consumption of this alcohol. So for me, someone that is a trained personnel that is professional at his duty shouldn't have taken drugs or maybe alcohol while he's in line of duties. Now, all of these things, some of them, let me say, they are addicted to it. They can do that after duties.
No, sorry to cut you again. When you say shouldn't have taken drugs, we don't have it in this very report that the officer in question that fired the shot probably into the air that got to the boy took drugs.
Yes, you may not get it. But if investigation is carried on, you would discover that that officer would be linked to it.
Allegedly, probably.
Probably.
We are not sure. We are not saying
yes, we are not saying
he took drugs.
So yes, we are not saying he took drugs. But then you see that there should be a display of professionalism at all time. You see, some of these things can be avoided if the officers are displaying professionalism in line of their duties. Let's say, for instance, now, what even warrants the shots to the head? What even warrants the shots? Now, okay, someone has been killed. Now you are escorting the dead body of this individual which have been killed. So what now warrants the shot? Are you seeing the bandits coming to take the dead body? So why? And they should know, or they have seen that that particular society is where people live. And since these people may not be expecting any shot from this military personnel, so there will not be a form of any defense, or maybe people hiding somewhere to defend themselves, expecting that a military personnel will be shooting through the air. So you see that it is actually a negligence on the part of the military officer who shot into the air, and look at the result of it.
For no reason.
For no reason.
You know, when we look at reports like this, I mean, it's pathetic, you know. We are happy that at least the boy is not dead yet. We pray he doesn't die.
Yeah.
He didn't die. But then, how do you think the behaviors of some of these personnel can be managed, mostly when they are on duty, to help avoid instances like this? Do you think there could be intervened? This kind of reports, could it have been prevented? What are the precautionary measures that should be taken to curb? We are quite used to this kind of reports. We always get military personnel misfiring, shooting into the air, and then hitting innocent people every now and then. And I mean, it doesn't make sense. How do we stop this menace?
Well, to me, I think there should be a retraining for this military
from time to time.
From time to time for this military personnel. Let me not say that it's to some set of the military, holistically to all the military personnel. And again, there is a department in the military known as the military police, who helps to curb the activities, the activities of military personnel who are misbehaving, maybe in the society or maybe in line of duties and so on and so on. So that department, the military police department, should be activated. Possibly there should be a kind of technological measures in monitoring the activities and the behaviors of the military personnel
when they are
on the field. Now, Nigeria should kind of improve in their, Nigerian Army to say, should improve in their technological method of monitoring their personnel. That is to say that there can be drone, there can be some officers that would be trained that will use technologies in monitoring this personnel, maybe one or two in a particular area, and there should be a kind of reports from time to time on how different personnel are behaving. Like, let's say, for instance, if you have some military personnel in this facility and one is misbehaving, maybe today we started noticing his behavior. Maybe by tomorrow or at the end of the today or at the close of business today, there should be a report to the back to the military organization or to their superiors on how each of these individuals behave, so that anybody found wanting can be taken into let me say, into control immediately or before it goes out of hands. So when we do all of these things, I think it will help in curbing the activities of some of these military personnel that are misbehaving. Then secondly, I think there should be a severe punishment to also curtail this act. Now, when I mean severe punishment, I know the military has what they call court-martial. Now, when a military personnel misbehave, he is always court-martialed. But outside this court-martial, you will see that some of them can be dealt with decisively within their organization first, before it's taken to the general organization where they will be court-martialed and all of that. So, but sometimes when they are misbehaved, some of the superior officers who they are eventually under will tend to maybe cover up for them, and they now look at that as they can do anything and go away with it. And when you do, or when you continue to cover up for them, they are now grown to a level where they too can also attack the superior officers. So they should try to put in measures to control the activities of these officers.
Thank you so much for this perspective. We really hope that the military, the government takes responsibility for the boys' medical expenses and all that. And even as sometimes we get to wonder if some of these military personnel are they even well trained on how to handle ammunition?
They are.
They are, right?
They are.
All right. Let's believe that. Meanwhile, a native doctor in Aninri local government area of Enugu State has been arrested after authorities reportedly discovered nearly 500 padlocks inside his shrine. The suspect was apprehended during a joint operation by officials of the State Ministry of Culture and Tourism and the police SWAT team over allegations of ritual practices described as destiny locking. Sources say the padlocks were allegedly used in diabolical rituals believed to lock people's fortunes and women's wombs. Officials claim the suspect refused to unlock the padlocks when asked and was subsequently handed over to the State Police Command for prosecution prosecution, I beg your pardon. The ministry also hinted at the broader crackdown on traditional practitioners, noting that beyond criminal allegations, some may face arrest over tax compliance once new levies are finalized. As of the time of filing this report, the police spokesperson, Daniel Ndukwe, had not responded to inquiries. What do you make of this report, Mr.?
All right, Mofina is bad. Like I said, there are some stories that are not palatable at all. Meaning that it's bad that in a modern society, in this 21st century, that you can still see people practice diabolical acts to this level, where people's destiny, where people wombs and all of that can be locked in a shrine. Well, I will say that the government of that state also has a lot to do. Now, in Imo, Abe, Anambra, if I'm not mistaken, the government actually stopped native doctors. The government stopped native doctors.
Okay.
And also church crusade, unwanted church crusade and sacrifices and all of that. So this is also a measure. In fact, to me, it was a measure to also stop, will I say, proliferation of what's it called, native doctors in the society. You see, so if the government will actually, maybe through the State House of Assembly, pass a bill to stop the activities of the native doctors in the society, and also maybe work hand in hands with the police and also other departments of security, that is the DSS to say, I think, to also hunt for these native doctors. I think they will flee the society, they will flee the state. And when this is done, it will give the people a sense of belonging. How can you be in a society where maybe you are praying to God for the elevation of your citizen, to the elevation of the state, and also the citizens are doing one or two practically their responsibilities to see how development can come into the state. But one or two individuals are somewhere through the diabolical means, trying to bring down the citizens, trying to close the womb of people and other things like that in the society. For me, it's not good, and the government must do something about it. Let's say, for instance, if this was not discovered this time, let's give it to the end of 2026 to through 2027. You will discover that there will be more
keys will be added to the
and that padlocks will be added. So it's good a thing that it is discovered now, and for now the government must definitely take action now. It's not something the government will say, I will or they will. The actions should be taken now to stop this act in the society.
You know, when I looked at this report, the second thing that got to me was the doggedness of the native doctor. That even when he was asked to unlock the padlocks, he refused. Even when he had been caught, he was asked to unlock the 500 locked padlocks. He refused. Imagine the audacity. Who knows the things he has locked that he cannot unlock, even when he had been apprehended?
Wow. When I look at this 500, it's quite a number. I think that is madness. A whole 500 citizens of the society is being locked. And let's say their destiny locked, their progress locked, and look at if down to the women, their womb locked, that they can't give birth and all of that. It's quite alarming. It's quite alarming. And the government must pressurize him to unlock those padlocks, and he can. It can. I believe you me, it can. There are ways into it. He knows how he locked it. He knows how to unlock it. So the government should pressurize him to unlock those things. And I think it must be dealt with decisively by the government so as to deter others. And every other native doctors in that state must be hunt for. To prevent further occurrence. In fact, outside the destiny we are looking at it, who knows if some of them are being killed? Who knows if some of them are yet to be killed by the lot of this padlock? So the government must swing into action now. It must be now, so as to prevent further occurrence.
Also on the report, I'd like to ask, towards the end of the report, we saw that the government has decided that native doctors will now be paying taxes, according to the reporter. And he said they are targeting other native doctors. Once it is time for them to start paying taxes and they fail, that is when they will now start catching them. What do you think about this whole development of native doctors now having to pay taxes, and should that even be the only reason why they should be?
For me, it's not a good one. It's not a welcome development at all. Now, asking native doctors to pay tax is like giving them a license to practice, like every other business in this society. How can you give a native doctor a license to practice, and with that license you can no longer interfere in the activities of that native doctor? Now the native doctor you ask to pay tax. That is to say that when he kills people to earn money, when he locks the destiny of people to also earn money, he comes to remit certain amounts to you in the name of tax. And which is actually bad. It is an encouragement for the native doctors to practice openly without fear. At least in the society right now, there are certain places where the native doctors cannot establish a shrine. But when you ask them to pay tax, it is an invitation for them to open shrine anywhere, like a normal business that pay tax to the government, get clearance to practice. Native doctor can come to modern cities and open a shrine close to a church, even close to government house, because they pay tax and they have the license to practice, and government cannot go to shut such business shrine down. So for me, it's not a welcome development. So the government should rethink. There should be a rethink and a turn away from such practice, meaning that the government should look at other measures to checkmate the native doctors, to see what they do and to also see their practices. That is what I think.
All right, it's very. I like the way you analyze the whole thing. I mean, now they have said beyond criminal allegations,
yes,
native doctors, some may face arrest over tax compliance.
Okay.
But then, even do you know that just as you said, once this native doctor starts paying taxes, even when there is a criminal allegation, the government may not have all of the F100, the boldness to go and arrest, because once you go to them, they'll tell you, after all, I'm paying my taxes. And it's going to cover the criminal.
Yes.
There's a clause that even beyond criminal, there's a clause, and I think it may cover the tax paying, may cover the criminal part of it and all that. Please go on.
Apart from covering, you see, before a business can be taxed, can pay a tax, such a business must be registered. And when this business is registered, it has a license to practice. For crying out loud, how can a shrine, a native doctor, be asked to pay tax, and before paying tax, it must be registered? And when it's registered, it has a license to practice. When churches are not licensed to practice, Churches should be given license to practice. Churches should be registered and be asked to pay tax, and not native doctors. It is bad that a government will be thinking in that direction. Native doctor. How does it sound? A native doctor being registered, being given a license, meaning that such native doctor can kill, because some of them can kill. So you ask them to kill because they have the license, they can kill. And it is the government of the society that has the right to protect the lives and properties of the people that is issuing this license to the native doctors to kill. I think there are certain things that the government must not involve in. And to me, the government should work with other agencies and individuals to stop these native doctors from spreading to others. And it is these native doctors that also giving heads to these so-called Yahoo boys and all of that. And when the society is crying for crackdowns on Yahoo boys and Yahoo activities and other activities, 419ers and all of that, and you know that their major resources is the native doctors, and you are now thinking to give the native doctors license to practice. What are we thinking? What are we doing to ourselves? And for me, I think if this happen in less than no time, the society will not longer contain the activities and let me say the spread of this let me say native doctors activities and other criminal activities in the society.
This is so disturbing,
very,
Mr.
very disturbing.
Aten. It is so pathetic that while the innocent citizens of Nigeria are in church praying themselves, we are in January, February, all churches are almost
even the Catholic Church, they have started the hashtag of 18 and all of that.
We have kids locked in shrines by native doctors. And the fact that this man refused to open these kids, it's making me like...
Yes, and there is more to it.
It's not funny at all. It is not funny at all. This is also a call to the Christians out there.
Yeah.
You need to pray.
Very, very well.
A lot is happening. There are a lot of battles that we do not even know about.
Yeah.
Imagine 500 persons, 500 souls,
yes.
500 lives, 500 destinies locked. It is well with us.
Let me also share my experience when you said the Christians needs to pray. Now, before I schooled at the University of Jos, so I also was worshiping with Christian Fellowship. And I stayed at Warukuba area of Plateau State, in Jos North. Now, in this my church, a lot happens. Now, we got information about these bandits and how they destroy other churches in other parts of the state. So in my church, there is always will I say weapons and other methods of defending yourself. To me, that time I think I was not close to God like the way I was when my eyes were open to see what was happening and how Christians were killed and all of that. So I started going close to God. I started praying as never before. So in this case, the Christians must pray as never before. Now, when this happens, you see that God has a way of exposing evil.
Yes.
And to me, I think with the prayers of the Christians, more evil in this state is not only this padlock. There are other activities, rituals that are yet to be uncovered by the government. That is why the government must bring into actions and hunt for these ritualists to actually know what they are into. If one person can lock 500 padlocks and links to 500 individuals, what will be of other native doctors. Now, and I believe in the hierarchy of the native doctors, in their seniority, there are other native doctors that are superior to him, which will have more jobs, which will have more practice, which will have more activities, which will have more patronage, so to say. So I think there are more to it. The government must really swing into action very fast before others will start fleeing the society, before others will start fleeing the cities and maybe look for a way to maybe cover their crimes and all of that. It's well, God help us.
God will help us. At this point, I'm even speechless. A lot coming to mind, you know. God will help us. I mean, is this not even the reason why we tend to be recording a lot of issues in Nigeria, which is now leading to the springing up of different churches, including fake ones, causing more issues in the society?
Wow.
Everybody now has a problem that they need a solution for.
Yeah.
These are part of the problems, the causes of the problems.
Yes.
Because of their need for solutions, we now have the offspring of churches, the fake ones, the real ones, the ones that even commit more atrocities than some native doctors.
Yes. Yes, some churches are even and even native doctor in disguise. But do you see, Nigerian government as it were right now do not know the number of churches we have in Nigeria. States do not know the number of churches we have. And it is bad that churches can exist in a country like this, mosques are there, then government does not know these churches. Sometimes one individual will wake up one morning, will start a church in his bedroom. Sometimes you see one individual can wake up and say, okay, I don't want to do this, I don't belong to this church, I don't belong, this is what God told me. How do you monitor the activities of these people? You see, when you have a true prophet, someone or a true pastor, someone called by God, in fact, it is visible. Is visible. Everybody will look at such individual and say, yes, this person is called by God. But when you see some of them that are, in short, that claim self-acclaim prophets, self-acclaim pastors, you also know. And these are the people that government should, through registration, through tests from other pastors, other prophets that are well known to the government, monitor the activities so as to crack down these criminalities in the society. There are churches that buries people to before foundations is laid. We know the information is everywhere in the society. How can you claim to be a pastor and you want to build church and you must kill someone before a foundation is laid?
It is so pathetic.
So it is bad.
It is so
the
pathetic.
Government has a lot to do in conniving with the society.
Exactly.
Please.
And even as we move on to the next report, we can spend the whole day talking about this because it's so disturbing. Imagine one native doctor looking 500 souls, lives, and then we still expect for the nation to move forward.
Wow.
It is well with us. Meanwhile, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, in Bayelsa State says it arrested 600 suspected drug offenders and seized 621.555 kilograms of drugs. Between January and December 2025, State Commander Kanu Soni Chukwuemeka disclosed this in Yenegua, noting that 407 males and 193 females were apprehended during undercover operations, patrols, and raids across drug hotspots and transport routes. The agency also confiscated 51,445 tablets and capsules, 658 injection ampoules, and 224 bottles of codeine. A mixture of cannabis and alcohol known locally as monkey tail or coscorin was identified as the most abused substance, accounting for 435 liters and 365.53 kilograms of seizures. The estimated street value of the drugs recovered is over 64.7 million naira, with Yenagoa recording the highest number of arrests. Wow. On prosecution, 20 cases were filed at the Federal High Court in Yenagoa, leading to 8 convictions. The command also referred 621 persons for counseling, rehabilitated 34 clients, and conducted 671 drug integrity tests, raising concern over growing cannabis mixture abuse among youth aged 21 to 25. And this happens to be my state. Imagine when 600 persons in a state is arrested for drug abuse. So how many more youths do we have left in the state that are not taking drugs? And the fact that both men and women are involved in this. And then I also love to commend the NDLEA, the fact that they have rehabilitated some of them, drug tests have been carried out. What do you make of this report?
Well, like you said, kudos to the NDLEA officials. I think they are really doing a lot of good job here. But I think for me there is more to do. That means that they should step up their games in terms of tracking more individuals involved in this. You see, when a society has failed in terms of taking the well-being of the youths into consideration, this is what you get. And you discover that most of these youths don't have job, they are not meaningfully engaged, and since they don't have jobs, they are not engaged, they find other alternative means of survival. And one of the fastest, according to them, if you look at it, is through this, because the spread of these drugs and consumption per se is high. In the economics, they call it the market forces. That is the demand and supply. The demand in the society is high. The consumption is high. And since it's high and the people are making money through that, I think some youths look at it as fastest means of gaining money. And as such, will find it difficult to even leave the business, so to say. But if the government of the state will introduce more technologies in terms of tracking these individuals, it's not only, or let me say, it does not end at the stop and search issue that the police do on the way, or the NDLEA, but there are other technologies which the NDLEA can use, or which the police can use, to also track these individuals.
Okay.
All right. Well, if this is deployed into the society, you discover that a lot of them can be apprehended, and when more is apprehended, it reduces the spread of these drugs and all of that. And secondly, you see, streets, that is the major streets of the states, I think needs cameras. There are cameras that can be controlled, that can be monitored in the control room of the police. If the major streets is placed on cameras, and individual activities are being monitored through these cameras, I think the police can also have their checkpoints or base close to those areas that are prone to these activities. And when such happens, they can also track these persons and get them immediately. You see, when you look at the street and you don't see the police on the street, you want to pass that street immediately with the drugs, isn't it?
Yeah.
And when the police saw these cameras and track the activities of such individuals, I think it helps the police to arrest such individuals fastly and also monitor the individual from a distance. Like now in this facility, if there is a camera and someone come roaming about this environment, the control room can monitor such individual, the activities of such individual, and place a call immediately to the security. Look, I don't know what such person is doing within my facility. I think it's not healthy. Please come and check. And the police can come around and interrogate such a person and search the person and maybe take the person into custody and find out why he was there and what they are doing. So all of this thing helps. Again, too, it's not it's not a direct accusation, but somehow, I think there are a kind of link between some of these individuals and some policemen. That is to say that some of these individuals are having a secret contact. Because if police is coming to this place to maybe getting a call of armed robbery, but before getting to this place, the armed robbers are aware that the police are coming and immediately disappear. So we are wondering where the information is leaking from. There should be a tight security. There should be a tight information management system to actually protect the level of information that is going out and is coming in. Because if the police are keeping the information within the officers that are going to, I think there should be a lot of, will I say, arrest to also curb the drugs.
It is so pathetic. 600 persons.
600
It's alarming.
It's very, very
and
alarming.
The number of drugs.
You see,
and that they got from the patrol.
I don't know.
The
factory that is manufacturing these things and how
this really hardworking. But as well, because we do not have all the time to ourselves, this is where we wrap it up on this episode of Atlantic Society Watch. Thank you so much, Mr. Jonah Atten. So it's been beautiful doing this with you.
It's nice meeting you.
Nice to have you on the show. Thank you. We're open for sponsorship of this program, jingles and advert placements, news and event coverage, personality, society, and political interviews, product service promotions, and commercials. Watch us live on www.atlanticnetwork.tv, Apple TV channel 205, Linux TV platform, Ifastech platform, Apple TV, Niger TV, Iroko TV. Connect with us on ATN socials. Subscribe, like, and share. Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network. Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1. And on X, at Atlantic TV Net. Remember and don't forget that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for watching. I am Ofina Anucha.